Hello everyone, and welcome to another Starcraft 2 replay. This one's going to take place on Shattered Temple. I'm the red Terran Ketroc, spawning in the north position. In the south we have the blue opponent, TvZ Shaft. I played a King of the Hill with some guy who was in the TvZ clan. And then soon afterwards I was still in Diamond League, and he was in Grandmaster League, so he improved a lot faster than I did. But that's alright, he can get better at the game. I can put out stuff like this, which you guys are going to love a hell of a lot more than Grandmaster League, I'll tell you that. So, what we're going to do for today's match, we're going to show this Mass Raven build from the Zerg's perspective. And we'll see what you guys think of it. I don't want to bring up the production tab, because it's specialness I don't want to avoid. What can we bring up? We'll bring up the income tab, just so we can keep a look at the harvester count. So it looks like Zerg is going for a typical 15 hatch. Overlord out. He's still making harvesters of 14, so yeah. But spotting the engineering bay block, as per usual. Coming in, trying to get a scout in. Throwing down his pool now. And gas, which I don't think I scouted. And chasing me off way all the way home. Okay. So pool is done. Not a whole lot of hit points on engineering base, so he's actually going to be able to whack through it with a drone. Spawning pool, taking the forward Zelnaga tower with a drone. Not sure if that's a good use of drones. I mean, you'll have lings out in a minute. Get that stuff back to mining. So taking it out and throwing it on his hatchery. Upgrading speed, and then immediately taking his drones off gas. So it looks like it's going to be like speedlings and maybe spines for defense, and then a whole lot of dronage. First two lings are out. And I'm guessing one for the tower, one to scout my base. Or two to scout my base. Nope, yep. I had it right the first time. Moving up. Sorry, this is a double speed. I'll turn this back down to normal. I'm keeping his harvester count down since he only has the one hatchery to spawn larvae off of. First marine is out, seeing the engineering bay wall off. And no command center. Where's your command center, Ketroc? Uh-oh. What? Offensive planetary fortress rush versus Zerg. Who has tried this? There's two things I know. It's the planetary fortress, and it's making Zerg's PM. Which is the whole intent of this build, come on. So I actually called down my mule at home because things look super safe here, but then all of a sudden all these lings start spawning. I'm like, oh, this isn't looking quite as safe anymore. Keep in mind a fortress has 3 armor though, so these queens that do 4 damage per attack get reduced to 1. So as long as I take out the lings, he can't really hurt this fortress. Pulling down 2 spine crawlers to help defend. Taking out the lings. Got some more SCVs to repair here. I can even produce more SCVs from this planetary. 1 marine made it. Taking out the spines, like I said, you don't really have to worry about the queens. However, queens can kill marines and SCVs, which have no armor. So you may want to avoid that. And run away! Boom. And that spine is within range. Spines can outrange a fortress by 1 unless I get the range upgrade, which I'm not going to. Again, switching back to the lings. Still has this queen out in the middle of nowhere. Chase my SCVs way up there. My SCVs are heading back to do some repair. Queen back in range again. Oh, and you're in the orange, which means you're a nice juicy target for SCVs even. The SCV's back, pull back the SCV, gets hurt. Sweet. Spines in the high ground. I'm not going to have a method of seeing them, but you can see I am throwing down a barracks here, so I'm already ahead of you on the high ground site problem. This engineering bay was mostly just to like cover some surface areas so you couldn't get a big like drone link surround, and just to make the surround come around this way, and maybe even to soak up some attacks, which I think it did. I think it had a queen attacking this engine bay for a while. And tank already out. That's going to be problems. And of course this new hatchery isn't within range of my PF, so that's not going to be good for him either. Now setting up the tank in siege mode. There's the high ground spines in range, but it's going to be very limited time for the spines, because here comes the PF. Some broodlings getting in on the action, which probably means this is gone. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, a whole bunch of lings at once. And I sieged in the spine range, which would have been okay because I had enough repair, but not with all these lings at the same time, and queens for that matter. So one tank left and a single Hellion. He does have vision, you can see that I don't have my expo, so I'm one basing this. If you switch focus to that marine, you could kill it, but no. So close to dead, only got 13 hit points. So poking up with my Hellion actually. 8 hit points. Ah! Siege tanks hurt my own Hellion. 4 hit points and gone. Throwing on some more spines, even another one. I mean, you really have to worry about Hellions now coming in and drone harassing, so. At the same time, there's the push and come in. And here's my barracks coming in, getting a full scout into space. I can see that he's still on hatchery. I've actually been scouting around the rest of the map. So I know, okay, hatchery means no Nidus Runner, means no mutas, it means no drop. I don't have to worry about that stuff yet, so I can just keep going with the tanks and Hellions. Which is my idea. I'm just going to kind of use like what I learned from doing the 8-minute mech push back in the day. I didn't actually get the creep tumors I wanted to. Attacking the wrong one, whoops. Lost high ground vision. Forced him to cancel that. I wasn't sure how much damage it did on that, so I tried to kill it here. You know, there's this little trick where you just use the splash damage on your own unit. Nope, that's definitely wrong. But it wasn't that close to dead, so. With the queen coming over, that's the end of that idea. Another siege tank, which of course is, with the high ground vision of the barracks, is doing a good job here. Hatchery finally upgrading to layer. So we'll take a quick peek and we can see I don't know about that yet. However, poking in again. I'm not too concerned about him throwing in a Wart, Roach Warren, or Bailing Nest, because I feel like a PF with siege tanks can cover any of that. What I am worried about is layer tech. So that's the only thing I'm really scouting, is when he's taking his layer tech. And at this time, I feel like I'm kind of building up my mech army to good power. He's not going to be able to use this layer tech for a little while. Like, he has to build that, then he has to get whatever upgrade or tech structure he needs from it, then he has to get the units. So I'm like, well, I can just use this opportunity to kill him. He's stuck on one base, he's teching, he's spending money on that. Not on army, so time to push in and end the game, which is what's going to happen here. Probably just want to stop this barracks rather than hold position, that way the queens will just push it back to the safety of your tanks. Kind of just naturally things just work out right. Unsiege and get ready to move up. Probably no reason for siege mode whatsoever, unless I want to siege these spines. But if I just want to just like bum rush them, it's actually better to keep them unsieged. I won't splash my own units. And siege tanks do more damage to armored units unsieged. So they can actually blow up those spine crawlers faster. So here I am. Of course, the nice thing with mech is you can all the auto repair you can do. And with that, GG, well played. Ta-da! Planetary Fortress rushing Zerg. So I've been playing around with this a lot in the ladder, which means I've been losing a shit ton. But at the same time, I've won some. I've realized this is really, I think, only a Metalopolis strategy. For two reasons. If the engineering bay block forces him to take a third, and he takes a third of the gold, I have an equally nifty trick to take out the gold. Also, their minerals are so close to their high ground edge that you can actually set up siege tank and start blasting the mineral line, which completely takes them out of the game. I'm not too worried about if they take a base out here or something. instead of at their natural because of the engineering bay block. Basically what I do is I seal them in, which means this base, he'll never be able to drone it up. If he decides to drone it up, that means he's going to have no larvae outside of his base in turn, making army, which is the only place you really need army, because building army in your base isn't going to help you when you're blocked in by a fortress. And even if he builds up an army here, that means he's never taking advantage of a 2-base economy, and I can still, like, do my Tankalian push on him and then take that out, because he really, 1 hatchery worth of larva is not enough to hold off a 1-base push from a Terran. Even if that Terran wasted a whole bunch of money on a fortress, which I don't consider a waste at all. I feel like I tangented there from what I really wanted to say. By the way, I turned nouns into verbs whenever I want to, so yeah, tangent's a verb. Totally tangented there. Yeah. So the main reason this doesn't really work on other maps is there's really no good place to hide a command center, and that's the key. You got to build this command center somewhere that won't get spotted. So I got an engine bay block here. What are his options? Well, he could try to take this base. So if he sends a drone up this way, that means if I built a command center here or here, it'll be spotted. Obviously, I can't build a command center here. I could build a command center, like, say, like here. Obviously, I can't build it any closer to this because this is where he runs his lings up, like, to scout my base. But the problem with building it here also is that probably the third overlord's going to be, like, on the edge of his base somewhere up here, just to get vision from down the low ground. Which means since I might not make my command center here and I gotta float it to his ramp, I'm gonna be floating right over an overlord, which gives him plenty of time to block the landing. And of course, over here is just super risky. It's so close to his vision. If he does any sort of search for proxy, especially if he gets a drone scout in my base and expects a proxy, it just doesn't work out. So that's another thing. Metalopolis has nice places to hide the command center. Anyways, should we discuss build order? In case you guys want to try it. Actually, I got screwed up in the build order because basically you want to build it immediately at 400 minerals. So this is the guy I want to build it with. I build the engineering bay. You don't need many hit points on this because you're going to cancel it anyways. You actually want him to try to expand here. But you can see I'm sitting here at 425 minerals. I want to throw it on that command center, but he's still chasing my SCV around. I even ran at a base that I couldn't have spawned at, and he still chased me all the way there. So I had to send another SCV, which put me really far behind. So I actually took my gas before my command center and then screwed up the whole build order. So for that reason, we'll jump out. We'll load up Yobbit. Bookmarks. All. Am I blind? Is it not here? Yobbit. Yobbit. Oh, no. I don't need to load Goblin Caverns. No! What's going on? No! No! Ah! If you want to exit these games, the nice little trick you can do is log out quickly and log back in. Saves a little bit of time and keeps you from annoying your opponent by quitting as soon as you start. Like this.
Replay saved.
I guess I wasn't on a great game either, which I should have been. Bookmarks. There it is. Another thing is I like to send out an SCV like as soon as possible to do the engineering bay block when I do mass ravens. You don't have to do that with this. So freestyle, no time limits. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. You just have to get your SCV there in time to block the 15 hatch. So it's a little thing, but you can leave it behind a little bit longer just to give you some extra 5-10 minerals. Everything adds up. How much SCVs return a trip anyways? 5, right? Yeah, 5 minerals.
Not enough minerals.
So the nice thing about this build is it's an all-in variant that I can do off of my Mass Raven opening. So in a tournament, say I do kill someone with ravens, I can do this in game 2.
Not enough minerals.
Supply depot block. Sorry, what am I talking about? Just regular supply depot. Scout for the 15 hatch. Probably a good time to send out for do the engineering bay too, because Metalopolis is a far run distance, so you can't wait that long. So let's pretend I scouted nothing, so I'm going to send this SCV cross map.
Additional supply.
Yeah. Didn't mean to do that. And engineering bay. Now again, it's not like you want to get tons of hit points in engineering bay. In fact, you just want enough just to buy time. So I think as soon as this hits like the orange like that, that's plenty. Now you can go in and scout. And just keep going with the SCVs. I'll go right up to 400. So, blah blah blah. Leave the base. Kind of poke this way, make it look like you're leaving because there's probably an overlord sitting over that hinge bay. And I'm actually going to build my command center here, because if he does take a natural somewhere else, it's probably going to be the gold.
Not enough minerals.
And then we want to take our gas. And after that, we want to make our barracks. And as soon as you throw on this barracks, you're going to want to cancel the engineering bay, which I should have queued up. And that's going to give you some money, so you can throw it on your next gas and engineering bay soon afterwards. If you think you're going to get drone scouted, patrol an SCV out here, just so it looks like you're doing a fast expand. It's one thing to keep them away from thinking that you're proxying. This SCV on the barracks, you want to queue it up to move somewhere to build your factory, because you're going to be able to do your factory as soon as possible.
Additional supply depots required.
Don't queue up more here. You're going to be going off one supply depot for a while, actually. So as soon as this barracks is done, you're going to build an orbital and your factory. Now it's time to lift this off. And if you can't get a solid seal, I can with what I did there. And right about now, I'll move out. Try to time that guy to arrive at the same time. Don't call down the mule. Probably a good idea to send out some SCVs now too. And of course Fortress as soon as that's done. The reason you don't call on the mule is if things are getting hairy here, you can quickly boom. Now I got another repairing unit. You don't have to finish this. And of course, if nothing's going on here, you can always just go back to mining.
Add-on complete. Not enough minerals.
And you can see we're in good shape here. Good siege mode, and we'll throw in that next supply depot.
Not enough minerals.
Now, you know what I do with the siege tanks. You can put siege tanks here and blast away all this crap. Let's pretend he took a gold. And I can show you what I do for that.
What's going on? Ready to roll out. You want a piece of me, boy? Yes, sir. Bad news? Big job, huh? Been waiting on you.
So I'm actually going to move my first few SCVs Marines and my first tank into the
What's going on?
high ground here.
Research.
And we'll off the bottom.
Sure thing. Huh? Yep. Bad news.
And now you can move the siege tank over to the corner here. Boom. You got vision from the tower, and you got range on the hatchery. So you can blow away all the SCVs here and blow away that. If he's got roaches, I don't suggest sieging this up until you get the bunker done, because roaches can actually blast in here. If he's got zerglings, just do it now, because you're completely invulnerable with this wall off.
What's going on?
You know, you keep the marines down here to defend. And once you got that thing, you're good. Boom. 3 SCVs to repair. Solid seal. Doesn't look solid, it is. Trust me, I know how to wall off bombs and ramps properly. We're good. In fact, you don't have to trust me, I can show you.
In the
Move
rear.
the SCV out here.
Here.
I said here.
Yeah.
Go there. You can see there's no way out. There you have it. Build order, I guess you can visualize right here. The key is you can actually throw it on this factory before you upgrade the fortress, and it doesn't really cost you anything. You still have the money for all this stuff. You might get a little bit mineral tied, so maybe you can't build this engineering bay for like a second, or maybe 2 seconds, but that's the most you have to worry about. This wall off is optional. The nice thing about it is one of his responses, especially if he has early zerglings, is to quickly get your command center surrounded with zerglings, surrounded with drones, get his queens out here. And with the full surround of all that crap, this command center is definitely going down. So the wall off prevents that from happening. If it's on a map where you can't wall off, which I don't actually suggest this for any other map but Metalopolis, but whatever. So if it's on a map where you can't wall off, you can build your engineering bay like this. Or maybe you can build put the command center like this and build an engineering bay here, so you got a nice little pocket to throw SCVs in to repair. So you can repair that first SCV, you can call down your mule in here. You can, once this fortress is done, you can produce more SCVs in there. And only the queens will be able to attack that. I don't know, just different options. Or you can just put it right up against here just to cover some surface area, force him to run around. It may even soak up some damage too if he's not really paying attention to what he should be attacking. Because an upgrading command center is no higher threat than an incomplete engineering bay. They're both the same threat level. Once it turns into a fortress, though, it's a higher threat level. And there you have it. Yeah, my transition is to go into 3 factories, kind of based on what I'm up against. Maybe a naked factory and 2 tech lab ones, so you get lots of tanks and a sparse amount of Hellions if I'm up against Roach. If I'm up against Zergling, you probably want a reactor factory, maybe a naked factory and a tech lab factory to get some tanks and a bunch of Hellions. And you want to smash whatever say you took this as natural, you want to smash that. That's your goal. And it should be easy enough. If he tries to get the extra economy by joining this up, that means that he's going to have so few larvae out here to kill you that you can come and kill it. If he does the opposite, if he uses all his larvae to kill you, then I think you can still come and smash it probably, because it's still only 1 hatchery worth of larvae. And at worst, he's not getting any extra economy out of having the space, so it doesn't really help him that much. Oh, one thing you can do as well, especially if you don't need the early marines, like once you've got that fortress up, you can lift this sucker off and just send it over here to be your vision barracks. You can know in the match I played, I built another barracks over here. It's kind of up to you which one you want to do. But I think we don't need the marines. This barracks should arrive just about the same time as this very late barracks would work anyways. Either way, he still has to spread creep and get the spines out here, so it's you got time either way. And it is key to get a barracks over here for 2 things, a high ground site and to keep an eye on what he's up to. Because you don't want to just have a Nida show up in your base and lose everything. You're like, oh, oops. Or, you know, have him get drops or have Muta show up and kill everything. Because I think his best response, especially if he's just stuck on 1 base and doesn't even have an outside base, his best response is go straight to lair. Because there's really nothing in the and the hatchery tech that can bust its way out, especially once you get siege tanks. That kind of makes the mass roach play and the bailing bus play not very good. And the fact that there's this clustery ramp here makes both those options really bad too, just because make the PF so good with their splash damage. Yep, so that's my brand new idea. Completely original. I'm pretty sure I may not be the only one doing mass ravens anymore. So some people have come up with that idea, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only one to come up with the idea with Fortress rushing a Zerg. And yeah, there you have it. Thank you everyone, and thumbs up link in description. Goodbye!